All right, we're back for another movie review. And what are we doing today, Faizel?
We are doing Samurai Cop
Samurai
along lines
Cop.
of different cop movies because I know there's like Maniac Cop, Samurai Cop, Dragon Cop,
Which
so
is
many
funny
cops.
because the I don't know at what point the poster was made, but there is a poster of Samurai Cop that has some mean-looking cop holding up a severed head and a sword, which is totally
Oh,
not representative of the movie, and the guy looks a lot like Maniac Cop. So I was wondering if that kind of like because I think Maniac Cop came
bled
before.
into it because it is Robert Z'Dar, right?
Yeah. So I wonder if they're just trying to like rip off that other movie or something. I don't
Maybe. I mean, if so, Maniac Cop was Trauma, right? I'm pretty sure
I,
Maniac Cop was Trauma, and if that's the case, then they
I don't think
definitely
it was. It
like.
didn't seem like a trauma movie. I don't know. I could
No,
be
it's Kabuki Cop. Kabuki Cop was
yeah,
Trauma.
Sergeant Kabuki Man. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
trauma.
What was Maniac Cop? But yeah, I think was Robert Z'Dar in Sergeant Kabuki Man too?
I don't know. I've never actually seen it. I've only seen the trailers for it.
Oh, interesting. William Lustig was the guy who made Maniac Cop. I
Yes,
think he
yes, yeah.
made
And he also made Maniac, didn't he? Or he
yeah,
was
he made Maniac and he made a lot of good movies.
because he just liked that word Maniac.
Yeah, he was just like, we're gonna keep doing it until it doesn't make sense anymore. Oh, huh. He was in Army of Darkness 3. He was in Evil Dead 3, Army of Darkness as Fake Shemp.
Yes, yes, yes. And yeah, Bruce Campbell
Oh.
was in. Was it Maniac Cop or one of the Maniac Cops? Bruce Campbell was in.
He was in Maniac Cop 1, I think.
Yeah.
Because he was the original cop, or was it? No, yeah, he was in Maniac Cop 1.
I think that was
Oh,
the reason I originally watched Maniac Cop, just because I was a Bruce Campbell
Bruce
fan. So I was watching
Campbell.
everything he was in, and that came up, and yeah, it was a good movie. But we're not here to talk about Maniac Cop. We're here to talk about
No, we are not.
Samurai Cop. So, what are your first thoughts?
I mean, okay. I mean, I always try to go on a tangent anyways, but like the movie's fine. I just saw the poster that you were talking about with the like the head and the thing. It's like, yeah, this is not Maniac, Samurai Cop. The movie's fine. I have things to say about the movie. We'll talk, get to that. But can we talk about the star, Matt Hannon,
Yeah,
and his insane life? Did you read anything about his life?
I just read about how after that movie was done, him and like it was the stunt coordinator. They like did an armed robbery at some movie producer's house and stole this valuable painting, and then they got caught and like went to prison.
Yeah, it was a televangelist in LA, and well, okay, so it starts off, he was a bodyguard for Sylvester
Yes,
Stallone, I
yes.
guess. And he kind of looks like Sylvester Stallone, so that's weird. I wonder if Sylvester just goes and finds like the biggest guys that look like him and just surrounds himself by that. But he was a bodyguard for Sylvester Stallone, and then he was like, I gotta do a movie. So he made the movie, and then yeah, not long after the movie, he stole a Rembrandt from a televangelist in LA, who, of course, the televangelist had some sort of biblical Rembrandt. I tried to figure out which painting it was that he stole. I couldn't find which one, because I guess Rembrandt did a lot of biblical scenes, and the painting was like a biblical scene in a gilded frame. But yeah, he stole a painting, and then like he stashed it at the stuntman's house, and then they found it at the stuntman's house, and then he had to go to jail. And then when he comes out, he makes Samurai Cop 2.
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, even just reading the IMDb, if you read like the trivia about the movie, there's so many funny things in there about how, they filmed the movie because in the movie he has long hair. So
Yep.
they filmed the entire movie and then he's like, "Okay, we're done. Can I finally cut my hair?" And the director's like, "Yeah, go ahead and cut it." So he cut his hair and then it's like, "Oh yeah, we need to shoot some more scenes." And he's like, "Well, my hair is cut now." And they're like, "Well, we'll just get you a wig." So for part of the movie, including
Oh,
the
that
opening
makes
scene, he's
sense.
wearing this really obvious women's
There was a
wig.
couple of times in the movie I was like, what is going on there?
There's even a fight scene where it like comes off, it like slides off, and then he like
Oh.
readjusts it, and they kept that in the movie.
Well, I have questions about what they kept in the movie, but I mean, oh, I forgot what my next tangent was gonna be. So, well, let's get into what they kept in the movie. So, like, I don't, I enjoyed the movie. I'm not gonna act like I didn't enjoy the movie, but I am acting frustrated about the movie because I'm just like, what was the plot of this movie?
Yeah, it's definitely a so bad it's good movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I came across it somewhere online, like just like someone talking about it on YouTube, and they were showing clips from it. And it was mainly that clip of him ta having that really cringy discussion with the nurse, where they were like flirting in
Oh
their
my
villa.
God, it's so he has multiple cringy conversations. There's that one cop that constantly is asking people, wanna fuck?
Yeah,
Wanna
it's like
fuck? Wanna fuck? It's just like, what is wrong with
yeah,
you,
that is the
lady?
most inappropriate workplace like in the history of
But
the
that's, I mean, I gotta look up to see if he wrote it too, but that exactly sounds like who wrote it? Amir Shervan. Who's Amir Shervan? Torka Man? Wow. This definitely reads like some of the dialogue definitely reads like someone A who is not like familiar with English and B mildly racist.
It's yeah, and it is definitely a pre-Me Too movement because but
Oh my God, is it
the good thing
ever?
is like the women in it like harass the men kind of as much, but it's like everyone's
Yep.
being sexually inappropriate with everyone and it's like it's oh man, like and that kind
Man,
of
Hannon is just sleeping with everybody.
it kind of you can overlook it because the movie at the same time is so it's so like innocently stupid. It's kind of like The Room, right? Where it's like you forgive it because they were just trying so hard. And
And
it's like
like all the actors are these big jacked guys who like seem so nice and sweet and like they got them playing the bad guys and it's like, but he's not a bad guy.
and the funny thing is, like, the whole movie's about this. It doesn't even make sense. Like, this, he's like a white cop who was apparently raised and trained in Japan to be a samurai. But other than
He
using a
even
sword a
speaks
bit,
Japanese, man.
but he never speaks Japanese. And when he tries, it sounds horrible. And other than using a sword, there's nothing Japanese about him.
No, there's nothing at all. Well, he wears a motorcycle jacket. Maybe that's where they were like, okay, we got this cool moto jacket. That's Japanese, right? Yeah, close enough.
And also like the he's fighting this Japanese gang in Los Angeles because they're like
Yep,
drug dealers
who
or
are
whatever.
like Fukushima. Is it Fukushima?
Fukushima.
Fujimoto?
But the thing is, other than the head guy and like the one henchman, there's barely any Japanese guys in that entire game. Like they
Oh
have
my
every race of
God.
people. Like they're a very I guess they're very open. Like most gangs are like, you have your triad
They
gang, you
just
have your
didn't know
Yakuza.
enough Japanese people.
So yeah, they had two. So it's like, well, let's just they're all like basically they're all white and black guys, like all of them. And then they're like, we'll call it a Japanese gang, but it's like, how are they Japanese except for that head guy? Like and also the head guy. Do you read the story about how he got involved?
No.
He was in like call like university. Was it for like it was like engineering or like architecture or something? And he was
Which
just
head guy?
walking
The head gang
the
leader?
head Japanese guy, yeah. And he was just
Okay, yeah,
walking
yeah.
down the street one day, and it was like the director, the producer saw him, and they're like, "Hey, like we're shooting this movie, and we need like a Japanese guy who like to play the gang leader. Do you want to do it?" And he was like, okay." And so he did it, and then that's the only thing he ever did. Apparently, he just
Yeah, I looked up a couple of these guys' IMDb's and I was like, oh, this is the only thing. I'm always so fascinated by like that kind of thing where like this was the only thing they ever did. And I'm just like, why? Where were you? What happened to you? Where did you
it
go?
could be the experience was so bad, or it could be they never wanted to be an actor to begin with. They just did it, like the
As a
Dragon we did
favor.
last time. It could be he just wanted to promote his his dojo or whatever, like his martial arts
Yeah.
business. So he's like, I'll do one movie to kind of get a spotlight on myself, but I don't want to be an actor, and that's it. So
But also probably, yeah, at that time there probably wasn't that many opportunities to act in like low budget films as there are now. So you couldn't have like a stacked IMDb. You do one and then you tell your grandkids about how you were an actor once
yeah,
in a time.
and I don't think agents were calling this guy to offer him roles after Samurai.
Oh my God. My favorite actor is the one in the scene where the guy gets his hand chopped off, which ridiculous. Ridiculous. But like the guy who gets his hand chopped off when he's like, leave him alone, man.
Yeah,
He's gonna get off of him. And then he's like, ah. I just love his line delivery so much.
like there's so many of those guys you tell were not real actors. Like even the if you watch YouTube, if you just like search Samurai Cop on YouTube, you'll find like a whole bunch of videos of like the best parts or the worst parts of the movie. And there's that one cop, Scott, I think his name was, where he's like so intense. Where it's like, Scott, how you doing? He's like, very good, sir. It's like, dude, dial it back,
So,
dial it
well,
back.
the other one is like Frank, his partner. Are all of his speaking scenes exclusively like a medium shot, like
I
head?
heard that they shot all of his scenes, but then apparently they needed reaction scenes from him. So they took him in some room, got that shot, and got him to do 100 different reactions, and then they put those reactions in the movie, and that's why
Oh
that
my
really
God, when
worked.
he's doing his reactions for the cringy nurse scene, he's like,
Yeah, yeah, that's why he wasn't reacting to anything. They're just like act surprised. He's like, okay. They're like act shocked. Okay, act like you'll laugh at a jokes or whatever. So they put those, and that's why the reactions don't seem to match what he's
well,
saying.
and also all his dialogue, most of his dialogue is like right here. And most of the time it's very jarring when they cut. Like, we were just talking about the edit, but like it's very jarring when it's like a full body shot of Samurai Cop or the chief or whatever, and then you cut to like his head and shoulders.
Yeah, apparently all those things were cut later, and they did it in just like a room with like a white in the corner of a white room, just so it could technically match anything else, even though it quite doesn't.
Oh,
There's
that's too funny. I think that was also the only thing he's been in, right?
I don't know.
The actor who
I
played
think
Frank.
it's
I'm
in
gonna look
part
this
two.
up, but I'm pretty sure this was the only thing.
But I see those guys like the movie is like a big cult hit, and they did part two. But I see them pop maybe just because like I Googled the movie a bunch of times. But I see those guys on Facebook, like just Facebook groups, like people like they have some sort of presence. Like they go to like Comic Cons and that kind of thing to promote it. So they are
Huh.
like whatever they did, like this movie was enough that it kind of gave them a bit of a career.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I remember when I was looking because I looked up his IMDb because he's a good actor. The guy who plays Frank Washington, Mark Fraser. As far as I can tell, like he's not a bad actor. He just had bad direction and bad actors to work with. But he seems like a good actor. So I was like, let me go look up his IMDb, and his IMDb doesn't have anything super special. It has a limited list. It's like 7 or 8 lists, but like. This is the one thing I always say is like I would take a bullshit IMDb if I could be in like if I got the chance to have one great film, I would take the rest of my life as a bullshit IMDb. And he was an uncredited pimp in Once Upon a Time in America, which is
Oh,
like one of those big like epic it's so good. If you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in America, it's so worth watching. And like I don't know if he feels this way, but I feel like if I'd been an uncredited pimp in Once Upon a Time in America and you can see me on screen, screw it. We're acting career's pretty much over. Like I'll take whatever roles come through, but like, what are you gonna? I was in one of the greatest movies ever made. What are you gonna tell me?
I wonder if which movie paid him more, Samurai Cop or being the uncredited pimp in the really big movie.
I would be so curious.
Yeah, I met this actor one time. I think he was from Edmonton or maybe he's from Vancouver, but we met him in Edmonton, and he had like a cameo in X-Men 3. Like he was in it
Oh,
for like
cool.
2 seconds, but he said that he's like that like 2 seconds that I was in that movie
Paid
that paid.
forever.
He's like, yeah, that's paid more than like every other movie he'd been in combined. He did mostly like indie stuff. So
Because
um,
it's just all worldwide rights. When you get into it, like at that point, it's like the rights to your face and all that shit. They got to buy all that shit out for as much as they can. So yeah, I'm not surprised they would have been like, here's a big bag. We never want to hear from you again.
but yeah, so yeah, Samurai Cop, it's like I love it because like it is so bad.
It's so goofy.
It's
It's
so
so
fun to
funny.
watch, and like every line is the part where him and Frank are like gonna bust into that house, and they're like, "We'll break down the door and arrest the bad guys, and if we're at the wrong house, we'll apologize to the homeowners." It's like what?
Why is that even an option? Has that happened before?
Yeah,
Oh, I also love like how like it's honestly a little pornographic too. Like I don't they don't go quite as far as that, but like there's a lot of nudity in this
yeah,
movie.
it's one of those like movies from those 80s, 90s where like they're trying to be
Even by
like
those standards, I feel like it's egregious. Do you think it's like
yeah, I'd say it's about average. Like it's one of those like Cinemax movies where they just have a lot of nudity in it.
yep.
They don't really do that anymore because honestly, like it's like you can get that elsewhere if you want it. So it's like why it's like oh, I'm watching this action movie and there's an action scene and then there's a sex
Well,
scene
because it's
and
so
an action.
ham-fisted. I feel like if you can introduce good nudity into your film, go ahead, do it. But if you are literally just doing it to have nudity in there, then like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
not going to
it's
work out great for you.
and it's like I don't have a huge problem with it, but it's only one of like 85 problems with this movie that are like you can't even pinpoint what's wrong with it because it's like everything's wrong with it.
It's so amazing. Like again, it's just he's like I love how charming he is to everybody in that world, but like I again, he's it's also like it's so much. I love how he's constantly like you're gonna get your ass burned. Well, it's already black.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Or like I forget the other like weird Asian jokes he kept making through the movie, but I was just like, this is all strange.
And I think they were, I don't know if maybe while they were making it, someone's like, is this kind of racist? So they're like, well, we'll write in some dialogue to make it not racist. So they have that part where he confronts the Japanese gang, which is like two Japanese guys and a bunch of other guys at a restaurant, and he's like, the Japanese of this country are
Hmm.
hardworking, honest people, but it's motherfuckers like you that are selling drugs to, and it's like, I think that was his attempt to be like, not all
Like
Japanese
we're gonna
are bad,
fix this.
and it don't didn't really work because it was a hilariously awesome speech, but it's so stupid.
Because I'm pretty sure like the next three scenes later, he's making like noodle jokes or something.
Yeah, like, and for a guy like he's like Fujiyami, like he can't even pronounce a basic
And he
Japanese.
was raised in
Yeah,
Japan.
it's like doesn't he speak the language? And like,
I
yeah,
wonder why they chose Japanese. Like I can every most of the choices in this film I can see as like some guy in the 80s being like, we're doing that because that is cool. Like the
yeah,
jacket, we're doing that because that is cool. And like the samurai sword because it's cool. I wonder if like they were also like because Japan was probably kind of cool in the 80s. They had like their whole thing going on. They were probably like, who's cool? The Japanese. Let's like make them the villains. And then they like
yeah.
I huh.
I have a feeling it came. I have a feeling it came like the title came first. It's like
Yes.
Samurai Cop. That sounds like a cool movie. And then everything else was like secondary. So it's like, well, we can't find that many Japanese guys. Well, we have a couple though, right? That's good enough. We'll fill it with
Let's get let's get Sylvester Stallone's bodyguard to play.
yeah, we'll just get some guy, and it's like his story is that he was raised in Japan and he's a samurai, been trained as a samurai. Does he speak Japanese? Well, no, but we'll say that he does, and then so yeah,
So would you call this and The Last Dragon sister films?
they are similar in the fact that they're really cheesy, but if
And
you
they
like
also feature a protagonist who's like super oriental, but like
yeah, super Oriental, but not. And honestly, the guy in the Last Dragon, at least he was trying. Like he wore
I guess he
the
wore the hat.
yeah, he was like looked like he wore like a Chinese some sort of Chinese costume. This guy is like doesn't even
Leather
other than a
jacket.
sword, he doesn't really do anything. And it's like anyone could use a sword. Why he could just had him like
He doesn't even do any samurai stuff. He's just chopping.
yeah, he's just hacking at guys with his sword. And he uses a gun
Ah,
most of the time anyway, so it's like
honestly, I love when like the one Japanese guy was I think he was a Japanese guy, but he's like doing the kung fu moves and like he's there with the sword and he's just like and then his partner just shoots him.
yeah. Yeah. There was like so many awesome part or there's that part with the yeah, like the bald henchman guy, not the main henchman, but there's like the bald martial
Yep,
arts guy.
yep. The guy with the crazy
Yeah.
goatee
So he's like in bed. Was it like one or two women or whatever? He's like in
yep,
bed, and then the
rolling
cops show
around with
up,
them.
and the cops like he like runs, he flees, he grabs some briefcase and runs, and it's like, oh, this briefcase must contain drugs or money or something that he doesn't want to get caught with. So he runs with the briefcase. The cops are chasing him. Finally, he gets ahead. He opens the briefcase, and there's just like a gun inside of it, and he starts shooting at the cops. But it's like if that gun was there, why did he have to run away with
What?
it?
Yeah,
Open
just
it? Like why
leave
didn't he just grab the gun to shoot them while they were there? Like every
it.
every moment of the film is like that, where it just
Oh,
it doesn't make
the logic
sense.
is just like, what was happening? Do you like Robert Zadar? Have you seen him in anything else?
You see the guy with the big jaw?
Yeah, the guy with the big jaw.
Yeah, he was in Samurai or Maniac Cop. I saw him in there. He was in
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Death Wish 4. That's what I
Death
remember.
Wish 4.
Um,
He's very like big in the Pocket Ninjas was one of his like essentially I don't want to make it that way because he is also like a pretty all right actor. But like if Robert Zadar shows up in your movie, you probably are like making a super low budget, like not super great movie. But he's really good. He was in if you have the chance, I mean maybe we review it one of these days, but Hell Comes to Frogtown. He's in that, I believe, and it's with Roddy Piper.
oh, okay, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
Robert
He just
Zadar, like
has such a crazy face and
yeah, he has
like
some sort of like disease that makes his like jaw like
his
really big.
jawbone is like out there like that, but like he does so well as an actor. He's been in a lot of movies. Like I think his IMDb is close to like 124 credits.
Holy crap!
He was just in one in 2022. Is he still alive? I gotta look this up.
I don't think he's that old.
How old is he? Wow, he's 64. He's still alive.
Okay. Yeah, he must have started young.
That's
Maybe he just looks older than he is just because of the way his face looks. But yeah, but
just keep.
Samurai Cop, like it was in its own stupid way. It was very well cast. Like I would rather have those bad actors in it than good actors because it would have lost its
Yes.
charm if they tried to make it good. Um,
Yes.
it would
I
have been
agree.
just not that. But there's another guy they call on the internet they call him Tiny Feet. It's the one black guy. And if you look it up on YouTube, they like zoom in on his feet, and he's this massive guy, like just like a really
Does he
big
have
guy.
tiny feet?
And his feet are like it looks like it's CGI because it's like I don't know how his feet could be that
I
small.
missed that. I'm gonna have to go back and look for
I didn't
that.
notice it watching the movie, but now that we pointed at now that like he became a thing, it's like yeah, there yeah, it's kind of funny to watch.
Oh, that's too funny.
And then there's of course this the famous lion head on the wall. Remember that scene where he's talking to the woman in the room and there's like this lion head on the wall, but they
Yep.
frame the shot so like the lion's head is like prominent in the shot instead of the
Just
person. And you're
yeah,
like,
just
why is
like taking over the entire shot.
I read somewhere that apparently it was like whatever location was that they were so proud of this lion's head that part of the deal was you can shoot here, but
We
you
got
got
to
to
get it in
feature
there. Again,
this
it's
head.
just like what is cool? We need to like get the coolest thing in there. What's cool? Lion's head.
But the action scenes are like they're pretty well done. Like kind of like they're fun. There is that one like the very first chase scene, and that guy gets out of the van and he's on fire. If you
Hmm.
watch, like I think that like he either stopped acting or they yelled cut, but they kept filming because the stuntman's there and he's on fire. But you hear screaming, but he's not screaming. He's just kind of sitting there like with the blank expression. 'Cause I think he thought they already cut. So he's kind of like, okay, guys, put the fire.
Okay, it'll be okay.
But it's like they're still filming, and they're screaming, and it's pretty awkward. But yeah,
It
the
just ties back to like the art of the edit and the art of knowing when to kill, yell cut and when to stop filming.
yeah, we were
Like
just talking about this with Neil Chase, and apparently they didn't learn that lesson in this one.
they did not. I
But yeah,
haven't seen Samurai Cop 2. Did they learn that lesson in Samurai Cop
I haven't
2?
seen it. I became a fan of this movie because I can't remember when I was watching it, but it was right around the time we were filming Grotesque 2, and I was talking with Grace Kinley, our first AD.
Hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, you gotta like watch this like it was a clip of the discussion with the nurse. I was like, you gotta watch this, and she's like, "Oh my God, that is so bad." Um,
It's so
but
terrible.
she was like, "Oh, we have to like organize like a watch
A
party for everyone to
screening?
get together and watch this movie," which never came to fruition. But I watched it once, and then I was like, "I love this." So I bought it on Blu-ray, so I watched it several times. But yeah, it's like a cherished part of my collection. Like if you love so bad it's good movies, this is like top five easily. Like this is up there with like The
So,
Room and
what did you give this as a rating?
it's with so bad a good movie. It's hard because it's like you judge it on like technical skill. It's like a 2.5, but
That's fair.
how much I liked watching it is like a 9.
I
So
would agree. On entertainment value alone, I'd give it like a 7 or an 8. Just on like, I watched it, I enjoyed it, I laughed, I cried, went through all the emotions.
I'd have to give it an 8. I have to give it some credit for being so hilariously inept. But part of a movie is like it's not just the story and all the technical
It's
stuff.
supposed to be entertaining.
Yeah, it's like, do you like watching it? And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of quote unquote better movies than this that I like less. Like Samurai Cop, I'll probably watch it again a bunch of times because it's just fun to watch, right? And it's like, like Oppenheimer, that was a good movie, but I don't know if I ever want to watch it again. It was just a lot to
I'll
sit
watch
through.
it, yeah, exactly.
But like Samurai
Like,
Cop, it's like, yeah, if I had to
I'll
sit down
pop
right
this
now,
in every now and then.
yeah,
If you like stop paying attention, you come back, a whole other thing is happening already. Like,
and it's like, yeah, it is like it's funny without trying to be, which is kind of
it
like
is.
it's almost like those kind of comedies are funnier than like comedies are trying to be funny. It's like, and oh
It
God,
very much is. It's not contrived. It's kind of like it really is an art of like just balancing that sincere, like innocent, like we're making a movie.
yeah, and you can't try. It's like Tommy Wiseau and his friend there,
Greg
Greg
Sestero
Sestero. They made that new Big Shark movie. I haven't seen it, but I have the feeling it's not going to be as good because they
as The
probably
Room. No,
like they know what they are now. They know that they're so bad it's good, and that's where their fame comes from. So they probably tried to make it like that, and it probably just didn't work. With The Room, like they were trying for real and kind of failed, but it became what it is. So it's like you can't try to be bad. You just have to be bad by accident. But it
Oh.
did make me think of the scene in the restaurant with the hugely offensive gay stereotype with that Asian waiter. Remember that guy?
Oh my God, I was gonna ask. He was like, I was gonna be like, is that where the Simpsons got the yes
Yeah,
guy from?
that now that you mention it, could very well be. But yeah, that guy was I don't know,
My name is Hernando Astoza Dire Sebastian.
did they tell him to act like that, or is that just the
I have
performance he
no
did?
idea.
But
It's
that was
so crazy.
that was cringy in its own right.
It very much was. The fact that they like made fun of him for having four names and then like left and then like, why did you let me get his second name? We would have been there all day. Like that is the definition of a joke that didn't need to be there, that adds nothing to the plot, isn't funny. Like it's just mean.
Yeah, I think I have to. There are interviews because this movie has a lot of fans, just because of its cult status. So I haven't watched them yet, but there's interviews with Mark Hannon, the main actor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like new like we're like in the last few years, there's like interviews with him. And there is a Samurai Cop 2, which I'm gonna have to watch to see what that's all about.
Gonna have to see what that, yeah, what freakiness is happening there.
But this is one of those gems. I feel it's kind of like The Last Dragon, even though I didn't like it, The Last Dragon as much, but it's one of those gems that like you've never heard of it, and then you find out about it, and it's like, oh my God, like where has this been all my life?
This was a pretty good film overall. Like I said, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I was entertained. I was riveted. I don't have anything like I have negative things to say about it, but nothing that I'm like this ruined the movie for me. It's more like, oh
Yeah.
man, and then this stupid thing happened.
It's the movie's pretty much all negative things, but it's like all together, it's like you can't really criticize it because it's like, well,
It's
that's
like
what it
Lucky
is.
Day, but the opposite.
Yeah, Lucky Day, yeah, Lucky Day would just was offensive, but
Stupid and like dumb and like ruined the whole thing. But like this
yeah,
was like it treaded that line of being offensive and dumb and macho and stupid, but like in such a sincere like way that it's pretty good.
yeah. Definitely check out Samurai Cop if you haven't already. Cool. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.